Anyone got a ciggy?
So I ain't gone out weeks ago.
Who's got my hat?
Anyone? You're sitting on it, dyke!
Do you know what tonight reminds me of?
Your sex life.
Close, but no. Tonight reminds me of Betty Henderson.
Why? Because her pussy was as frigid as the sun.
No. You know, Betty was a great lass. Tits like cannons.
Yeah.
And every time she walked past the footy lads, attention! And all the lads, right? Yeah, we've got to have a go.
Of course you are.
But yeah, you know me. I've got my own style.
Fuck
Betty Henderson loved it. She always used to tell me, right? Dwayne, my darling, you're the only boy in this town that I could marry. Betty Henderson and I never got closer than hand-holding.
Aye, because you were always more keen on men, weren't you?
Betty was a proper Christian girl, you know, no sex before marriage.
What's the fucking
But, obviously, some boys, well, are boys.
Yeah.
I remember one Christmas Eve, night like this, she was wearing this long winter fur coat. You know, like something Rita Hayworth would have worn. And she was it. You know, perfect. And she was there, throwing snowballs, red noses, the works. But there was this other lad, Kyle Turner. He always liked Betty. And we saw them there together, laughed and led them to it. But then Kyle started grabbing, you know, and she said, no. Well, that's what she told me. One thing can lead to another, and it just happened. Let's just say that after that, she wasn't so Christian anymore. She could never wear that coat again. And she told her parents, but what could they do? I mean, Kyle said they were just messing around, and Betty, like all kids, had been known to fit. And then she told the local reverend. And he said that sex, at her age, without marriage, was a sin. And you know he was a fucking creep too. He knocked up from the good cloth mind, and he told her things. They're things that no teenage girls will understand. About judgment, about heaven and hell, and what happens to the impure. The impure? Fuck me, that cup was so impure, his piss came out steaming. And she told us afterwards. I mean, she wrote it all down, you know, all neatly. As like a thank you letter. Thanking that prick for helping her. The parents had to move house after that. They could never get all the blood out of the carpet. Well, you could never live in a place where that happens. Where your little girl. Well. Never saw Kyle again after that. His dad beat him after death. Never did make much sense to me. You know why two kids should die instead of just one. And you know, he was a handsome little runt too.
Hudson, shut the fuck up.
Scared you, have I, Mookie?
It's more than a nursery rhyme to scare me.
Don't know what kind of nursery rhymes you've been telling your kids.
If you're going to tell a ghost story, I need to tell your audience that it's a ghost story first, you sneaky prick.
I never do believe a word that comes out of your mouth. Or
You see? You see? You've got predictable. Now, do you want a ghost story? Do you want a ghost story? Alice! Because I've got one. Alright? Now, those things out there, alright? Those little fuckers watching us. They've always been out there. Watching. listening, hanging on to our every word, just waiting for us to fuck up!
Luke!
Sometimes, alright, sometimes, you can hear them. You can hear them talking to each other. You can hear them breathe or whatever.
You talk some shit, Tomu.
Yeah, what are they, huh?
I don't know. Living. Dead. I'm not sure. But when we first landed where I heard this old boy say that these were the mountains. These very mountains were the place where they used to bury their grandparents. They hoped that their souls would be high enough to reach heaven. They thought no matter how much you sin, if you can just get high enough, your ass will make it there. Maybe, right, just maybe, the ones out there are the ones who sinned heavy and their asses can't make it to heaven. They are stuck in the middle, just like us.
That's enough. We have heard your retelling of the locals' customs 37 times now, and each time with a slightly new embellishment. Now, frankly, I speak for all the men when I say that we are sick of it.
Aye.
Now, what we need is a light-hearted story.
There, go on then for you, sir.
Especially for Ash's birthday. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow,
For he's a jolly good fellow.